Alright, I'm going to do another video showing off all the new cards, which means we'll get another 20 new ones in a minute. Welcome, Lumineers and fans of the happiest card game on Earth. Loads of new cards, 16 new ones to go through in this video. I'm going to try and race through them as quick as I can. I apologise these videos get a little bit long, but I really don't want to talk about each card for 15 seconds. I don't think it's worth it. So strap in, and hopefully the card reveals slow down a little for the next few days, maybe. It seems to be that every time I make a video at the minute talking about something, we get it revealed a minute later. I did a video saying how we have to wait for rules, and then the rules dropped as it went live, and I do a video looking at cards, and as soon as they go live, another pile of cards comes. So maybe I should do a video about all the free product they're going to send us. I don't know. Anyway, these are all from a series of official rules videos or Let's Play, how to play videos. They are on the official Lorcana website. I'm going to link below. They are fantastic. The production quality is insanely good on them. They use like full graphics and, you know, really, really nicely done, and it really clearly explains how to play the game. As far as a gameplay point of view, I don't think they show much more than what is already shown in the quick start guide that we saw a few days ago, but it sort of plays it out really nicely, and personally I learn very well from video rather than reading, so like I'm a big fan of these, and I hope a lot of people out there will be too. So link down below for those, but we're just going to pull the cards from them and take a look at them. So we start off with Stitch, New Dog, which is awesome, possibly my favorite flavor text of the set so far as well. He is a 1-costed flourish 2/2 in amber for 1 lore, Storyborn Hero Alien. Just a great little vanilla, but more importantly, this is going to be the Stitch that you want to shift Stitch Rockstar onto as well. We've also seen artwork of Stitch on a surfboard, who also looks like it could be amber, maybe. I think. I'm not sure about that one, to be honest with you. But yeah, so definitely sort of Stitch is shaping up to be an amber color card. Yeah, really excited to see more from him. Not only is this little Stitch going to be what you can play Big Stitch onto, but also it's going to be a card that when he's played with Big Stitch, you're going to get the card draw because he's under the 2 costs. So yeah, great little vanilla there from Stitch, New Dog. Next up, Mickey Mouse True Friend. We'd seen the artwork for this. This artwork is available on the card sleeves and the card box for the first set. He is a 3-costed flourish 3/3 for 2 lore in amber, Storyborn Hero. Again, another vanilla. One thing I will say is a lot of the cards used in this video seem not necessarily lower powered, but definitely more sort of like staples rather than the big bombs. We think they might be all being pulled from the starter decks, but with that hasn't been confirmed so far. But still nice to see the card pool get fleshed out, so we can actually play with a slightly better curve now. A curve being, you know, you want cards in your hand and cards in your deck that you can play turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Obviously, a lot of the original reveals have all been kind of, you know, big bomby cards that look fancy and you know, seem to do a lot of stuff. But you have to fill the set out with lower powered stuff that you can easily obtain, and will flesh out the deck so that it's not all heavy hitters that you can't play until turn 6, 7, and 8. So yeah, good to see him, Mickey. We just need a steel one now, and we've got a full set of Mickeys in every color. It's only a matter of time, surely, before we see it. And we finally have a Broom. Let's go. Broom matters decks. I'm there for it. There, Magic Broom is a 2-costed flourish 2/2 for 1 lore in Amethyst. Excuse me. He is a Dreamborn Broom. Broom is its own character type, which is fantastic. Has the ability Sweep. When you play this character, you may shuffle a card from any discard into its player's deck. Great ability. This becomes 1 cheaper with Wayward Sorcerer. This is a really good ability though, because it's very modular and it can be used lots of different ways. So you can use this personally just to throw a card from your discard into your own deck with a chance of redrawing it later on, because yeah, there's just a chance you'd redraw it. So that's the very sort of basic way of using this, I think. The second way to use it is if we do end up seeing cards that let you go and search for a card. This is even better, going back into your deck. You can also just use it as a way to get some more cards in your deck in case that becomes a problem. There is a chance that we see cards later on that will just remove cards from players' decks, and the possibility of having no cards in your deck that will result in a game loss for you if you go to draw and you can't. I don't think that's actually said anywhere, but it's pretty obvious, right? If you can't take cards in your deck, then you're not winning, basically. So we haven't seen that yet, but this could be a little bit of protection against that. What I think this is mostly going to be used for, at least how it seems to be shaping up right now, is actually removing a card from an opponent's discard pile and putting it back into their deck, where it's going to be more difficult for them to access. We have seen 3, 4, maybe even 5 cards now that allow you to return something from the discard pile into your hand. So this is a way to sort of anti that. So that's where I feel like this card is going to be useful earlier on, or at least, you know, how it seems to be that the first set meta is shaping up to be. This is going to be a way of getting rid of that combo piece out of the discard pile for your opponent. I will happily use this to get rid of a fire the cannons from the steel decks. I will use this to get rid of a character from, I think it's one of the Maleficents we see in a moment, or any action card from the Lady Tremaine decks. Yeah, I think that's where this is going to really come into its own to start off with. Next up, develop your brain. This is the first time we're seeing Sword in the Stone get used on a card, which is awesome. There is some other art shown. There's a really lovely artwork of Merlin on the website, and there's about 5 or 6 other arts of characters on the website as well that we can assume are going to be card arts eventually. I've decided that from now on I'm not going to be covering those just because we're getting so many card reveals right now. I don't think we need to speculate on the fact that we're going to see these cards coming up soon. We'll get there when we get there. But anyway, Develop Your Brain is a 1-costed flourish action in Sapphire. Sapphire. Oh, Sapphire and Amethyst I get mixed up every single time. Sorry. Yes, blue. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them in your hand and the other on the bottom of your deck. Superb card. Like, there's no reason you wouldn't play this, I don't feel, at the moment in a Sapphire deck. It's just card draw. Card draw, a bit of filtering, just great. And it's 1 as well. And you can mana it. Sorry, as you can ink it later on. Hey, sorry to interrupt. We're just trying to not use Magic terms because we don't want to alienate new players or players that are coming from different card games. Okay, thanks. Sorry. That was weird. Yeah, so 1 flourish. So you can use it in your ink as well. Great card. Love it. Hades. He is a 4-costed non-flourish 3/2 for 1 lore in Amethyst. Hades, Lord of the Underworld, Storyborn villain deity. He has the ability Well of Souls. When you play this character, return a character card from your discard to your hand. So there you go. Great use of the broom there to get rid of a character card if you expect your opponent to be playing something like this. But otherwise, pretty good card, I think, here. A good stat line. 2 lore would have been nice, perhaps, but overall, you know, good ability and a target for the shifted Hades to hit down onto as well later on. Amber villains, looking okay, I think. I'm trying to think what other villains we've seen in Amber, but something like Amber Sapphire villains, I think, is definitely going to be a playable thing. Another action, an action song here in a 3-costed non-flourish Part of Your World in Amber. A character with cost 3 or less can exert to sing this song for free, so that seems to be sticking with how it seems to be. You either pay the ink cost or you exert a character of the same ink cost to do it. Return a character card from your discard to your hand. So another Amber card, seeing that sort of discard recursion. Again, really strong ability. This is, I'm pretty sure this is okay. The not being able to use stuff for ink has really affected hands in early playtesting, but I think as the card pool gets bigger, also I've only actually played with 40 card decks. I need to spend some time with 60 card decks this weekend. Now we have enough cards. I feel like it's probably going to be less of a concern. But still, that non-flourish number in the corner is still making me go whenever I see something. But I think this is probably okay in a more fleshed out deck. Just recursion in general is really strong. So yeah, good to see. Next up, Coconut Basket, a 2-costed flourish item card in Sapphire. Consider the coconut. Whenever you play a character, you may remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. This thing's insane, right? Like, this is, how is the best card we're seeing a coconut, a basket of coconuts? Currently, the way to win the game is to collect 20 lore, and I'm pretty sure almost unconditionally the way to gain lore is to use characters to quest. I feel like eventually we're going to see items that let us gain lore, or at least do something like Mulan and let our characters be worth more lore. But right now, characters questing is what wins you the game. So playing characters is what you're going to do. At the minute, it doesn't seem like a spell slinger style deck is going to be a thing. You have to put characters down to win this game. So this card makes it better to do the thing you have to do anyway. Like, this is just insane. I'm gonna say it. This is the best card we have seen so far. There, the basket of coconuts is the best thing we've seen so far. Next up, Maleficent, a 4-costed flourish card for 3/4 with 2 lore in Sapphire, Storyborn Villain Sorcerer. Again, a vanilla, but a pretty solid one. Good stat lines. We're seeing loads of Maleficents, man. It's kind of crazy. This was one of the very first arts we saw, I think, that wasn't attached to a card. It's nice to actually see it on a card now. One thing I'm quite surprised about is, having seen all these Maleficents, I don't think we've seen a shift one yet, which is interesting, because I feel like that's the way this is working. If there's a shift, if there's a top-end shift card, we need to see 2 or 3 different types of cheaper cards in a couple of different colours so that you can build a deck around it. But even the big Maleficent, the Dragon Maleficent, the Ruby one, she's not shifted. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see a shift Maleficent in the future. I'm sure there's one coming. Next up, a 1-costed Flourish Amber action. Control your temper. Chosen character gets -2 strength this turn. Like, at first glance, this is like, okay, cool, yeah, sure, whatever. Actually, I think this is going to be pretty good. The reason is because one of the main ways to get rid of characters on your opponent's board is to challenge into them. And as soon as you start to get into that mid-game, they get pretty beefy, some of them, and very often they have higher willpower than they do strength, and oftentimes you're having to do 2-for-1s to get rid of their big combo pieces. You're having to swing a couple of smaller things into them to get rid of them. The reason being is that the damage stacks, but on the second challenge they gain their strength again, right? They get to hit again. So if they've got a 2-5 that you really want to get rid of, I might have to send a 3-2 and a 2-2 into it to kill them. This completely changes that. This shifts those 2-for-1s back down to a 1-for-1, maybe even just clearing the board, depending on what the strength of what the thing you're trying to get rid of is. So I actually think for a 1, and the fact that you can ink it as well, I think this is actually pretty good. A 1-costed Flourish card, 1/1 for 1 lore in Sapphire, Pascal, Rapunzel's companion, Storyborn ally. Cute little 1-drop. He gains evasive if there's another character in play. Nothing mind-blowing here, but, you know, very cute art. Very cute character. Great to see him in the first set. Yeah, good, solid sort of opener, I guess, for this kind of deck. But yeah, nothing groundbreaking on that one, I don't think. The next one, though, will kind of blow your mind. Fire the Cannons. We've already talked about this on the last video, but now we actually can see it properly. It's a 1-drop. This is insane. We were playing this in testing originally as a 3-costed deal 2 damage, and it was still doing pretty good work that early on with the whole Captain Hook recursion. The fact that it's now a 1-drop that deals 2 is kind of insane. It is a 1-drop that doesn't allow you to turn it into ink. People who are much more cleverer than me are still number crunching as to the value of cards that can't be inked, and some are saying that a 3-cost Flourish and a 1-cost non-Flourish actually sits at about par. But yeah, that's like, I don't really get a lot of that kind of stuff. I just think about how I would feel if I had this and a Captain Hook in my hand, and I think I'd feel pretty good about it. Flounder, Voice of Reason, is a 1-costed Flourish 2/2 with 1 lore, Storyborn ally in Sapphire. Great little vanilla here. You know, 2/2 is a great stat line for 1. Yeah, good, solid card, but again, you know, it's lower level power wise, but you know, still you'd be happy to play it on turn 1. I think the next one is arguably a lot stronger. Again, it really depends on how it falls with the Flourish and non-Flourish as to whether or not they're going to ink or not. But this, again, just seems kind of insane. It's another Maleficent, biding her time. It is a 1-costed non-Flourish 1/1 with 2 lore in Amethyst, Dreamborn Villain Sorcerer. You play this turn 1, turn 2, you get 2 lore. Even if it dies right then, I still think that's insane value to just get that 2 lore on the beginning of your second turn. Yeah, I think there's a reason why this is rare and Flounder is only common. yeah, this just seems really good. Minnie Mouse, first time seeing Minnie Mouse. It's awesome to see. She's a 2-costed Flourish card with 2/3 for 1 lore in Amber Dreamborn Princess. Again, another vanilla. We're seeing lots of those from these videos, and that's fine. This is, you know, a solid one. Definitely an early starter for the princess decks. You know, if you've got this, you got 1 or 2 of these out on the board and they haven't really been dealt with, and then you get the whole Moana Mulan combo going. I think this is pretty good. Now we're seeing Beast's Mirror. There was mention of this in the quick start rules. It was described as how to use costed abilities, but now we get to see it. It is a 2-costed Flourish card, an item card in Steel. Steel and Emerald did not get much love in these videos, by the way. Like, it's kind of crazy to think that in the small card pool we were playing with, Steel and Emerald were arguably the strongest colours, and instantly they've sort of dropped right down again just because they haven't received as many new cards. You know, it's still such a small sample size, but it's still interesting to see. Anyway, Show Me. You can exert and pay 3. If you have no cards in your hand, draw a card. This seems a little expensive, honestly, but the amount of games I'm playing where I'm top decking, as in I'm sort of drawing a card and that's all I've got in my hand, this actually could be pretty good. It's nice to see a Steel item as well. I think it's the first one of oh no, Frying Pan we got as well, so there's definitely support for items in all colours now, I think. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I feel like a lot of these other cards are sort of showing card draw a little bit more interestingly and a little bit more just card draw as you develop playing the game you want to play anyway, whereas this is purely in your deck to allow for card draw. So I don't know whether this is maybe this isn't as strong as it could be, but that's okay. Here is a card that is as strong as it could be. This is a 2-costed non-flourish item in Amber. Apologies for the terrible screenshot here. It's the best we can do. Lantern, Birthday Lights. You can tap this to pay 1 less for the next character you play this turn. Just insane. So imagine this down in an Amber Sapphire deck and you play Mickey Mouse, Wayward Sorcerer, and your brooms are now free. Also, these things seemingly stack, so you can make stuff 2, 3, 4 cheaper. This is kind of insane. And now this is probably the first card where I'm really seeing that the non-flourish cards are a little stronger to have a playset of them in your deck, and the risk reward is that you can't use these to ink with. That makes perfect sense. This is a strong card, I think. Next up, we have a 2-costed Flourish 2/2 for 2 lore in Sapphire, Aurora, Regal Princess, Storyborn Hero Princess. Just a solid stat line. 2s all round. 2, 2, 2 for 2 with 2. Yeah, great vanilla. I don't know what the Sapphire support is in Princess right now. I'm going to have to go and take a look at that. So far, it's sort of Amber. It seems to be the real Princess deck, but maybe there's an Amber Sapphire deck there. Amber Sapphire, excuse me. Yeah, no, there is Amber Sapphire, because that would give you Belle, who is also a princess, so you could do like a Princess Matters with a sub-item Matters theme now with those lanterns as well. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that might be really good, actually. Oh, I'm going to go and build that one at the end of this video. And that's it. There was one. There's a Maleficent we haven't seen yet, but it's only shown in a fan, and you can only see the fact that it's a Maleficent card. It's a 3-costed Flourish, and it's in Amethyst. And there's a little bit of a description, but like it's not. We might as well just wait till we see it at this point. We're getting that many card reveals. But there you go. We're trying to race through them. I'm doing the best I can. I put a video out today as well about how to play on Tabletop Simulator. Is that something you're interested in? I will reiterate right now. Every time I mention Tabletop Simulator, I'm going to say this. It is a fun way to proxy the game until it is released. But when the game comes out and we can actually get product, we need to support the paper product of the game if we want it to do well. So go and play some TTS, do some number crunching with it if you want to now, but it is not a replacement for the actual physical game. And then what else? Oh, and then we've got a video coming about the organized play stuff that's been revealed, which is quite interesting. I've spoken to my boss about it, and I'm going to do a video all about that, both just in general and also from a local game store point of view, how that looks to be shaping up. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you're new here, don't forget to click subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. You know how it works. Until the next one, be good.